My name is Yutaka from Average Asset Management in Tokyo. Thank you very much for joining our presentation. We'd like to provide you our view on the Japanese stock market and the Nippon Growth Fund, UCIT Fund. At present, we have two convictions on the economy. Firstly, the main engine for global economic growth will be shifted from IT investment to infrastructure investment. Secondly, the Japanese economy is entering into a new growth stage. This is a chart of currency, yen and against dollar. US dollar against Japanese yen have been moving in line with the differential of 10 years bond yields between US and Japan until the mid of 2023, as you can see on the left chart. But in the past couple of years, Japanese yen against dollar has departed from the trend line and has gone into very weak level. Currently, you can see on the right chart, yen's real effective rate stands at 50 years old. We think this level should provide an exceptional opportunity for investment. We believe the yen will appreciate to 140 at the end of this year and to 130 at the end of next year, 2026. With the US interest rates going lower and Japan's BOJ increasing its policy rate. Wage hike in 2023 was 3.9%, highest since 1992, and increased further 5.6% year-on-year in 2024 and 5.4% year-on-year in 2025. This is due to the combination of higher inflation, labor shortage, and government strong request. Employers also recognize that Japan's salary level become too low internationally, and they have to raise salary level in order to get new staff and retain good quality of labor. Real income after adjusted inflation will start to increase soundly from 2025, which will stimulate spending. This new trend should give a big impact on business activities such as capex and personal consumption. With labor shortage worsening shown below chart and consistent pay rise pressure, companies are requested to increase capex in order to achieve higher productivity. It is likely for capex to expand sharply from 93 trillion yen in 2024 to 120 trillion yen in 2030. Annual growth rate during this period is about 4.5% in real term. After corona disease, inbound tourism has recovered quite sharply, as you can see on the chart. Total number of the inbound tourists in 2024 surpassed pre-corona peak to hit a new record at 36.9 million in 2024. The government expects for inbound tourists to increase substantially to 60 million people in 2030, partly helped by integrated resort, including casino in Osaka. Average spending per tourist is expected to grow more than number of tourists, which should contribute to expand for capex and consumption. There are lots of major projects going forward in construction sector. These developments are gathering momentum in major cities to increase the value of area and the buildings. While labor shortage is deepening, companies are requested to improve working environment, to move to new building or rebuild new offices to attract working people. IR, integrated resort, starting in 2030 in Osaka, is also expected to contribute to the expansion of construction demands. While supply and demands conditions on construction industries are getting tight continuously, unit price for building construction starts are gathering momentum, and gross margins is the unit price minus construction cost are expanding quite sharply from 24 fiscal year towards 2028 to 2030. Civil engineering business is becoming more interesting in construction sector. We put one medium-sized company, Penta Ocean Construction, with a market cap of 350 billion yen into our portfolio. Penta Ocean is the largest marine civil engineering company. And the Japanese government is going to spend 20 trillion yen during 2026 and 2030 in its National Land Resilience Plan. It's more than 30% higher than previous 5 years plan of 2021-2025. And also, the government pledged to US that it is going to increase defense spending against GDP from 1% in fiscal year 22 to 2% in fiscal year 2027. Penta Ocean should be one large beneficiary from national land resilience and the defense spending. Penta Ocean has started to show remarkable performance from 2025, shown on the chart. This trend is expected to continue for another few years. We remain still very positive on the banking sector. Banks, notably mega banks, have been successful to increase new business such as asset management, broking, leasing, and insurance, and cut down costs by reducing number of branches and staff. Then their core business is now coming back. It is lending business is now recovering quite remarkably, with lending volumes, and both lending volume and margin are increasing as the economy recovers and the interest rates rise. Banking sector against topics relative index recovered from 35.9 bottom in December 2020 to 76.6 in July 2025, but still much cheaper than previous peak of 155.3 in October 2005. Valuation remains cheap, with PRs just 10 times and the PBRs 1.3 times. We think the BOJ would raise its policy rate by 50 to 75 basis points by the end of next year, 2026. And 10 years bond yields should be pushed up to more than 2% level. In that case, banking sector against topics should rise double to 150, 160, judging from the case in 2005 or 2006. After the announcement by Tokyo Stock Exchange on capital efficiency for all listed companies in March 2023, companies are encouraged to increase shareholders' return. Between fiscal 22 and 2025, net profits are expected to increase by roughly 26%, and the dividends are increasing by almost 40%, and share buybacks are expected to increase sharply by 85%. This is our medium-term outlook. We estimate nominal GDP would grow 3.5% or 4% per annum between fiscal year 24 and fiscal year 2027, with the corporate profits expanding 8 to 10% per annum. Mrs. Sakaichi was elected as the Prime Minister on 21st of October. She is expected to pursue a proactive and ambitious fiscal agenda with a strong focus on demand-driven inflation rather than demand cost-push inflation. In that case, our bullish scenario is likely to be materialized. We feel current situation in Japan is quite similar to previous bubble period between 1985 and 1990. With this sense in mind, the stock market should show a remarkable rally, with the topics targeting 4,500 for the end of 2030. Although this is not shown in this table, but however, following the recent rally, the short-term volatility should be ruled out. This table shows the comparison among S&P 500, the topics, and the Nippon Growth Fund. As you can see on the table, S&P has higher weighting in information technology, communication services, and healthcare, while topics is higher in industrials, consumer discretionary, and materials. Nippon Growth Fund bet heavily on industrials, financials, and real estate. Industrial sectors include trading companies, construction, and machinery. Particularly, we have a very high overweighting in the construction sector. In valuation, topics is much cheaper than S&P 500, as you can see on the chart. And in both P and PBR, Nippon Growth Fund is much cheaper than topics. On the right chart, right table, consumption rate, main engine for global growth, income growth is going to be shifted from IT investment to infrastructure investment. In this case, topics should do better than the S&P 500. And Nippon Growth Fund should record the remarkable rally, remarkable performance. When we look back at the history, we think the market conditions in 2021 were very similar to 2000. 1999 was a year of IT bubble, when Nippon Growth Fund underperformed the topics largely, as you can see on the left chart. But from 2000 to 2005, the fund massively outperformed the index. During 6 years from 2000 to 2005, the fund went up 169.6%, while the topics declined 4.2%. Interesting. In the similar pattern, the fund was very bad in 2020 compared with the topics due to mainly pandemic. But from 21 to 2025 year to date, the fund outperformed the topics remarkably, shown on the right chart. During the period of 21 to 2025 to September, the fund went up 182.5%, while the topics rose 70.4%. We believe this favorable trend should continue for another few years. Finally, we hope and believe that you can get a fantastic return by investing in Nippon Growth Fund. Thank you very much for your attention.